But what are you going to do? You're 4 games out of a wild card. You lost 3 straight games. You're dealing with a ton of injuries, including to Mike Trout. This is where Perry Manassian didn't want to be. He either wanted to be 10 games out of a playoff spot at the All-Star break, or he wanted to be having the second or first wild card spot. Yeah, and be clearly buyers to the fan base. So we have to reimagine the way we look at the Shohei Ohtani trade sweepstakes and not only think about it, don't connect it just to free agency. Don't think that the only teams that would be interested in trading for Shohei Ohtani, if they do indeed decide to trade Shohei Ohtani, are teams that would want to hold on to him and believe that they can sign him long term. I think there are long-term destinations, yes, teams that would trade talent with hopes of re-signing him.
Yeah.
I also think there are short-term rental destinations, which means we could get creative.
Oof.
Teams that we know aren't going to back up $600 and $700 million to sign Shohei as a free agent.
But they'll pay him the rest of this year.
They'll pay him the rest of this year, and they'll trade some young talent to have him on their roster to go for it.
For some teams, talent, it's worth more than money.
A lot of teams,
so
yeah.
what type of talent are you giving away?
Talent that is logjam blocked at the big league level. There are teams that have solidified young, controllable stars at numerous spots on the diamond.
That can have an open door in Anaheim.
Yes, and have a chance to play all the time. So I think we need to dive in. Do you want to start with long-term solutions or rentals for Shohei Ohtani?
Long-term.
Long-term. Okay. The Los Angeles Dodgers. Tonight is a big start for Julio Urias. They've got many injuries in the rotation. Do you think the Dodgers trade for Shohei this year?
They are probably, if you had to put money on it, to me, they would be the betting favorite for the team that acquires him at the trade deadline. 1, they can afford him. 2, they'd like to have him, and he would see what it would be like, and they certainly would like to have him long term. And 3, they have the prospects that the Angels would probably want back.
They have all of these top 100 prospects. This is a very deep farm system. So if you're Andrew Friedman and you're looking at your team and you're going, well, right now we're a game and a half out of first place. We get Shohei Ohtani. We're by far the best team in this division.
But the problem is that if you go here and you lose all these prospects, with the want of wanting him still in the offseason, you got to be very realistic with yourself. Yes, a Shohei Ohtani's a stopper. Yes, a Shohei Ohtani people are going to come to see. But if you're the Dodgers, you're saying, we can have him in the next 3 months. Why am I going to trade my prospects, my babies, what they've been known for in the past?
You know why? I'll answer that question.
There's no need for that. I'm going to get him in 3 months.
There is. Clayton Kershaw's not getting any younger.
But I'm going to get him in 3 months. I don't think the Dodgers were going in thinking that they were going to walk in the park in that West Division. I don't think that they thought that. Because if not, they would have made way more moves in the offseason last year.
Can the Dodgers beat the Braves? Are the Dodgers better than the Braves?
No.
No. If they get Shohei Ohtani, are they better than the Braves? If they get Ohtani,
I still don't think they are. You know why? You know why? Because of their bullpen and their starting pitching. Do you think you're going to rely on the Dodgers, the 3 rookies they have right now in August and September baseball? Just because you want to get them for 3 months while you can have them for the next 10 years, minus the prospects you have right now that you're going to lose out on?
I think for the Braves, if Max Fried comes back and he's the Max Fried that's an ace pitcher, they're hands down the team to beat in the World Series.
But what if Ohtani got traded to the Dodgers?
It would even it up.
I think it evens it up. And it's not they're clearly the #1 trade destination if Ohtani is traded. These are the long-term trade destinations for Shohei Ohtani. Tell me what you think. Here are the logos that we've decided. The San Francisco Giants. Why not, right?
Oh, yeah, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Agree.
They could sign.
Hey, 3 games out of that division right now. It's up for grabs.
What about the New York Yankees? Could you imagine if the Yankees traded for Shohei Ohtani?
A guy like Domingo, I mean, you're going to give away.
Who cares? You need someone. If you had Judge and Ohtani hitting 2nd and 3rd in your lineup.
They're 8 games out of that division. It's a question mark with Judge. I would trade for him depending with the Yankees what's going to happen with Judge.
All right, real quick, leave this up there for a while. Dan, the Phillies are on this television screen right now because you think the Phillies could be in the mix to trade for Ohtani.
I do. I think that they have some very enticing young players, and I think Dave Dombrowski is from that old school, and they have an ownership group there. They got a taste of the World Series last year. They want to get back again this year. I don't know if it's a long-term fit.
We've got him as a rental destination.
Then I think they're in. I really think they're in.
The Rangers would be a rental destination. Could you imagine whether or not the Angels want to trade in the division? I don't know. All right, Yonder. The Reds are on the screen because you pushed for your former team to be a rental destination for Shohei.
It's been, 11 years, 10 years since they've been to the postseason. They have the pieces. They're the number 2 organization right now with minor league prospects. And look, we can say prospects are suspects. We don't know what they're going to turn out to. But they have them, and they have them in galore. And I think when you talk about the windows of where these guys can play at with Anaheim, look, they're missing a first baseman. Go give them Christian Encarnacion, right?
Oh.
Why not?
Oh.
You got Cam Collier, Edwin Arroyo, Noelvi Montez. I just think that when you are talking about the Angels right now, and you want to go get guys, every day is a lesser day, and it's going to be less expensive for you to go get Ohtani. Like, if you don't make a trade 2 weeks after if you make a trade 2 weeks after the All-Star game, it's not going to be the number 18 prospect and the number 2 prospect or the number 5 prospect. You're going to be somewhere in the teens, in the 20s, because you're only going to get them for a certain amount of time. I would think the best prospects with the Angels and what they want is what they're missing in their key holes. Now, they know we got a catcher. They got a good third baseman they're locked up in if he stays healthy. They got Mike Trout. They got a shortstop that they think he's going to be really good for the next 6 years.
Right.
Go get a first baseman, go get a second baseman, and let's see what happens.
Here's the other thing. We keep saying, you're only going to have him for a couple months. You're getting a Cy Young contending ace and an MVP bat. You're getting 2 superstars in one player. So to say, well, you're only going to have him for blah, 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 blah. No, you're going to have a stretch run performance from a rental player we've never seen before.
They'll run away with that division.
We've never seen it before. To see what Shohei Ohtani would do every 5th day, all the while mashing in the middle of the lineup.
In Great American Ballpark.
Now, are we on to something? I think there are teams that are rental destinations for Shohei Ohtani that clearly won't have the funds to sign him as a free agent. The Reds aren't going to sign him as a free agent. I don't think the Rangers sign him.
Right, they're locked into DeGrom,
The Phillies got too much money with Turner and Harper and those guys. Do you think there will be teams outside the box to make a play?
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Why not the Marlins?
Absolutely.
Why not the Marlins? Bevy of pitchers galore in the minor league system. You're going to rent a guy for 2.5 months. You know what? If you can afford it, listen, you're not going to have but could you imagine the shot in the arm of big league baseball in South Florida for Ohtani? He's familiar with the mound. He struck out Mike Trout in the championship game, so he knows the ballpark.
All I'm saying is this. If you're looking for must-win baseball games to watch this weekend, the Angels, if they go to the All-Star break with a sub-500 record, they just ignited the biggest story in baseball.
Time is ticking, though, man. That's the thing for me. Like, every single day, if I'm the Angels right now, I'm talking to teams to try to make this happen. Because every day that goes by, Ohtani just gets cheaper and cheaper for the teams that want him. Like, I can't give you, if I'm going to get 45 games out of you, and all of a sudden now it hasn't been traded now, I'm only getting about 30 games out of you. I'm not giving you my best prospect. I'm not going to give you my best.
So you're saying don't think this is going to happen at the trade deadline. You think it could happen before the trade deadline?
This can happen like a situation with Manny Machado. And what happened in 2019 where he was in Baltimore and we didn't know where he was going to go. Was he going to get traded? Was he not? And the deal was in place prior to the All-Star game, it felt like. And he ended up going to the Dodgers. You know, he had a selfie in Baltimore with Matt Kemp at the All-Star game. If you wait, it's going to be worse for the Angels to receive that package that they really want. You got to make it happen now.
That's a really good point.
Pull the plug on him now.
His last game in an Oriole uniform was the All-Star game, Manny Machado. That was his last game in an Oriole uniform. Could you imagine if Shohei's last game in an Angel uniform is at the All-Star game?
How about this?
Could you imagine?
What happens in the American League? He's having an MVP year. He goes to a National League, and he's not the MVP anymore.
Oh, that's too bad. That would be so sad. But you're right.
It can happen. It can really happen.
Stats would get all messed up.
I've been on this all year long, and I'm not going to back off now. I just don't think they're trading him. I just don't think that they're trading him. I really don't. Because I don't know if the package they're going to get at the trade deadline, when the entire industry knows now, like, it's too obvious. It's too obvious. It is. Unless you're going to get this guy, you are not going to give up a bevy of your best minor league players unless it's the right team, if it's the Dodgers that think that they can keep him long term.
Giants.
If you're the Giants, the Marlins, the Reds, they're not going to give you anything that's substantial to have a guy for 2 months. And I just feel like this. Artie Moreno is a terrific owner. And if they lose Ohtani, that entire fan base and that brand of the Angels is just going to go boom. You know, that trending.
They're going to lose him eventually anyway.
I don't, Greg.
He's walking as a free agent, man.
I just feel
we've all
like
had girlfriends in high school. This is like breaking up with your
Whoa,
girlfriend.
whoa, whoa.
Before New
You guys
Year's
were
or
jocks.
after New Year's.
Don't get ahead of
I still.
It is. Everybody's going to be upset regardless, whether it's before or after. Everybody's going to be mad.
I was on record.
I wanted a girlfriend in high school, but it didn't work out.
This is where I've been with you, and you and I we've been back and forth all year, and I just thought that he's going to, the last day of the season, he'll be wearing an Angels uniform.
You still believe that?
I do. I'll be surprised if he has a jersey on anything other than the Angels.